Basically, it is a personality assessment that started in 2001. They had started researching way before then. What they do is they try to identify talent themes in people, and they've been able to identify the top 5 talent themes in people, and just really describe that is unique to each person, the order of it, what those talents are. And the idea behind StrengthsFinder is that you focus on what you're good at and develop it into a strength, versus only focusing on my weaknesses or what I don't do well.
What if I believed it was true? What if
From the coursework I had done, I knew that it had done a very accurate job of figuring out what my strengths are, and it was kind of scary actually, just because it's like, wow, this hit me really well.
you knit me together?
What surprised me was, so I was kind of in the middle of a career change. I used to do marketing, and then I decided to change my career to education, to teaching. And one of my top strengths was developer. And that strength, when I was reading through the paper, it talked about how usually these people are teachers. And so that really surprised me in a good way, because then I thought, okay, this is almost like an affirmation of that I'm doing the right thing, and I'm actually using my strengths for what I was created to do.
I guess what surprised me the most is how little I knew myself. I felt like when I took the test, I was a little confused at first when I got the results, and I was like, I don't even really know if these really describe me. But once I started reading about each strength, I was like, oh, this really does describe me. And so I guess it just really helped me to know my strengths and be able to live in those strengths so that I could be the best that I can in everything that I do.
I think we've learned a lot about each other too. I've seen, now that I know what your strengths are, I'm able to, it kind of helps me understand how you think and where you're coming from with some things. And
it's good to know what your strengths are. It's good to know where to put your attention so you'll be more successful. Because otherwise, I do think most people fight their weaknesses rather than work with their strengths.
It's just really good to understand a little bit more about yourself. It was a big help to help my spiritual walk. So one of my struggles, I think, from being an achiever is that I have a tendency to do way too many things and try and cram too much into one day, particularly Sundays. So I'm starting to learn to take a rest, and on the Sabbath, to honor the day. And
I think it's important for people to understand themselves, and I think too that you have so many strengths inside of you, and some people don't know what they are. And I think understanding those, you're able to be a better version of yourself, and really live out your purpose in life. Because I know for myself, I was trying to figure out what my purpose was, and I didn't. I felt like I was just kind of doing so much work, and I was wondering why I was spending so much time doing something that I didn't feel like was my purpose or calling. So I think that this class really helped me realize that, okay, now I'm moving in in the right direction, and I think it can help other people feel the same way and feel like their life has meaning because they are, using what God gave them.
This has allowed us to see different things on different levels, and be able to assess a situation and say, you're really better to do this than I am to do this. And being able to let each other take the lead in certain situations based on what we know the other person's good at.
Yeah.